Hey, Michael. We're going to talk about Panera Bread today, right? I gotta say, I remember a time when Panera, man, it was the spot. Like, seriously, for lunch, for studying, for just grabbing a quick bite, it was always packed, you know?
Oh, absolutely, Alice. Totally. I mean, I remember it being this amazing, cozy place, especially with those booths, the free Wi-Fi. That was huge back then. And that famous mac and cheese bread bowl, oh my gosh, it was iconic. Packed with college students, office workers, even families, looking for something that felt like a healthier alternative to typical fast food. It has such a buzz around it.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like a treat, but also kind of wholesome at the same time, which was a really smart move, if you ask me. But then, fast forward to today, and it's just different. You walk into so many Panera locations now, and they're just half empty. The buzz is just totally gone. And it's kind of sad, honestly. Customers they don't seem to be showing up like they used to. What happened? I mean, how did it go from being one of the fastest growing chains in the US to a brand that, well, people just don't seem to care about anymore?
It's a wild story, really. It's not just one thing, It's like a series of decisions, some internal, some external. But yeah, we're going to break down the downfall of Panera Bread. It's pretty wild.
So where did this whole Panera story even begin? I always just thought it kind of popped up out of nowhere, you know?
It's actually kind of cool. Its story actually starts way back in the 1980s, right? It was this little bakery chain called the St. Louis Bread Company. And then it got bought out by a company called Alban Payne. And they rebranded it, and everything just turned into what we now know as Panera Bread today. The whole idea behind it, honestly, was simple, but it was total genius. Fast casual dining. Not like greasy fast food, but not a sit-down restaurant either. It was just this perfect something in between. Fresh bread, soups, salads, sandwiches, food that felt healthier, even if it wasn't always necessarily. And Panera, they were one of the first places to really lean into free Wi-Fi too, which made it such a popular hangout spot for students and, remote workers before Starbucks really took over that role completely. By the early 2000s, Panera was everywhere, It was trendy, it was convenient, and it was just upscale enough that it made you feel good about eating there.
Right. So they really nailed that niche, huh? They hit that sweet spot between convenience and, feeling a little bit special. So by the mid-2000s, it sounds like they were just absolutely booming, yeah?
Totally booming, Alice. They had thousands of locations, their menu was instantly recognizable, and people genuinely loved it. Those bread bowls, iconic. And the You Pick Two deal, oh, a total staple. For a lot of people, Panera Bread really became the staple of healthy fast food. It was, just that perfect mix of convenience and comfort. The food seemed fresher, it seemed more authentic than a burger and fries. And at its peak, Panera, it looked unstoppable, truly.
So, Michael, you said it looked unstoppable, but obviously something, somewhere went sideways. What was the big turning point, if there was one, that started to show those cracks you mentioned?
Well, just like we've seen with other chains, when you rise too fast, cracks inevitably begin to form. And for Panera, that big turning point, it really came in 2017. That's when Panera was bought out by this private equity giant, JAB Holding Company, for a staggering $7.5 billion. And if you follow the restaurant industry or private equity at all, you usually know how this story ends. Private equity steps in, they're focused on profits, and they cut costs wherever they possibly can. For Panera, that meant recipes being streamlined, bread baking scaled back, and a much bigger push for gimmicks like subscription coffee and delivery instead of, the core experience.
Okay, so the focus shifted then from the actual cafe experience and the quality that people loved to like just squeezing out as much, revenue as possible from every single location. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. That's it, Alice. This was the turning point. From 2017 onward, Panera just wasn't the neighborhood bakery cafe that people had, fallen in love with. It was just another brand being, I don't know, ruined by investors. And after the buyout, customers, they really started to notice the changes, and not for the better.
So customers noticed. What were the first things that like really stood out to them? Was it the food itself or something else?
First, prices. Panera has always been, a little bit more expensive, but people were like totally willing to pay those prices because of the brand and the experience, the cafe vibe. Over time, though, prices just kept creeping up and up and up, while portion sizes, they just shrunk, like noticeably. Customers started to feel like they weren't really getting their money's worth anymore, which is a huge problem. You can't raise prices and give less. It's not a sustainable model for customer loyalty.
That's such a classic move though for companies trying to cut corners and boost profits. It's like they think people won't notice, but we always do, right? So besides the price and portion changes, what else did they mess with?
Second, the menu itself. Panera became notorious for like quietly removing some of the absolute fan favorites. You'd go in craving something, looking forward to it, and then all of a sudden it's just like gone. Just like they got rid of my precious warm bowls. Ah, so good, man. The chicken teriyaki bowl, gone now. They need to bring it back. Anyways, too many changes just left customers confused and really frustrated. When you've got a staple, something people come back for, you just can't randomly yank it. That's just bad business, in my opinion.
So it sounds like they were already shooting themselves in the foot, but then like external factors must have played a role too, right? Like competition?
Oh, absolutely, Alice, totally. And then competition. When Panera first launched, they were basically like the fast casual movement. They were pioneers, really. But soon, Chipotle, Sweet Green, Starbucks, and even Chick-fil-A, they all started competing for that same healthier lunch crowd. And suddenly Panera wasn't the cool, fresh option anymore. It was just, well, it was just there. By the late 2010s, those cracks we talked about, they became a full-on collapse. Like you could really see it. Customers constantly complained about smaller portions. They said sandwiches were like soggy, the food was bland. It was just, yeah, such a shame to see.
Man, it's hard to be a pioneer and then watch everyone else like catch up and even surpass you. But if they're also cutting quality at the same time, it's like a double whammy. Did the rise of online ordering and delivery affect them, do you think?
Well, online ordering and delivery, which Panera they heavily pushed, actually didn't help their reputation much, believe it or not. Orders were often cold or like missing items entirely, which just added to the frustration. Customers they were beyond disappointed in what they were getting. And it's like when you're paying a premium price, you expect a premium experience, right? And Panera just wasn't delivering on that anymore. They really just, yeah, missed the mark.
I remember hearing about some pretty serious controversies too. Like, wasn't there something about a drink and then something with their mac and cheese?
Oh, Alice, you're hitting on some like major points here. Panera's been hit by some pretty serious controversies, absolutely. First, there was the infamous charged lemonade. Panera marketed it, as an energy drink alternative, like a clean energy drink. But in reality, it had more caffeine than like a Red Bull and a Monster combined. Multiple lawsuits were filed after customers allegedly suffered heart issues, and tragically even deaths were linked to the drink. Panera even, added warning labels and quietly began phasing it out, but the damage to their image, it was already done. People felt like totally misled. And then there's the dirty mac and cheese controversy, which was just as bad, I think, for their reputation.
Dirty mac and cheese. What even happened there? That's horrifying. I always thought their mac and cheese was freshly made.
Right? Yeah. A viral TikTok showed an employee dunking a frozen bag of Panera's famous mac and cheese into boiling water before serving it. Customers who thought they were getting fresh, scratch-made food were furious, absolutely furious. The video exposed this huge gap between Panera's carefully crafted, clean food image and the reality behind the counter. And that might just be the biggest betrayal of them all. It's just this collapsing quality. Panera built its reputation on fresh-baked bread and scratch-made recipes, but in recent years, more and more of the food has shifted to frozen items, reheated in the store, like that famous mac and cheese. Thought it was made from scratch? Nope, it's just being dunked in boiling hot water.
Wow. So it was all a bit of an illusion then. I mean, the mac and cheese, the soups, even the bread that's in their name. Was that still fresh?
Sadly, no, Alice. Even the bread, the one thing that Panera is truly known for, has suffered. Reports from former employees describe underproofed, half-baked loaves being rushed out just to meet quotas. And to cut costs even further, Panera has laid off many of its overnight bakers. The very people who gave the chain its identity as a true bakery cafe. What once felt like artisanal and wholesome now just feels mass-produced and kind of soulless, honestly. For longtime customers, this was the breaking point. Panera just stopped being Panera. Do you know what I mean? Both of these stories, the mac and cheese and the bread, they reinforce what many customers had already started to feel. Panera wasn't the wholesome, trustworthy brand it once was. It was just cutting corners, hiding behind marketing, and really just losing people's trust.
That's just wild, Michael, to get rid of the very thing that made them who they are. It's what are they even selling now, What's the point of going there if it's not truly fresh?
It's a huge shift in their core business model, right? It was this slow, insidious fade from being trending and exciting to, well, overpriced and forgettable. And I think a lot of this has to do with private equity. They notoriously go into restaurants, strip it of its personality and identity, and just leave it as a shell of what it once was. And the customers, they notice immediately. They're not fooling anyone trying to flip it for a quick profit,
So, Michael, you're saying it's an identity crisis for Panera. They don't even know what they are anymore, and neither do their customers.
Exactly. Today, Panera it's still around, but the magic, it's gone, really. The dining rooms are emptier, the food is uninspiring, and customers they're just walking away. The company has tried, subscription models, tech upgrades, menu revamps, but the brand identity has just been watered down so much that people don't really know what Panera Bread even is anymore. Is it healthy? Is it indulgent? Is it a quick lunch? Is it coffee? Panera tried to be everything, and as a result, ended up being nothing. They tried to appeal to too many demographics, and they just lost their unique selling proposition along the way.
It's a tough lesson for any brand, isn't it? You can't be all things to all people. So, in your opinion, Michael, is this truly the end for Panera Bread? Is it toast?
Panera Bread's downfall wasn't sudden. It was a slow fade, honestly. From being trendy and exciting to overpriced and forgettable. The lesson here is simple for the fast casual restaurant world. You can't just coast on reputation. Customers have options, and if you can't deliver on quality, value or identity, they will move on. And Panera, they really just failed on all three fronts over the last few years, really. They just, totally messed up.
So this sounds pretty dire, Michael. Do you think there's any way they can make a comeback? Or is this just a cautionary tale we're going to look back on?
Can they make a comeback? Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. It would take like a monumental shift in philosophy, right? They'd have to really, really go back to their roots, focus on what made them special in the first place, genuinely fresh ingredients made from scratch, and an authentic bakery cafe experience. They'd need to rebuild that trust, which is like super hard to do once it's broken. And honestly, they'd probably have to like really reevaluate their pricing strategy too. People aren't going to pay premium prices for reheated frozen food, you know? The market is just too competitive for that now. They've got some serious work ahead of them if they want to recapture even a fraction of what they once had. It's going to be a tough road for them.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's almost like they have to totally redefine themselves without losing what little goodwill they still have. It feels like such a long shot, though, when you have so many like amazing competitors out there doing things right and offering real value.
Totally. It's a huge challenge. I mean, they're going to have to find their niche again, you know, and prove that they're not just another like corporate shell trying to extract profit. It's not an easy fix, not at all. But, you know, for what it's worth, I'm still going to hope they find a way, even if it's like a tiny glimmer, to get back to what made them great. I miss the old Panera, truly. Let me know what you think. Do you think Panera Bread is going to come back, or did you stop eating there years ago? Leave a comment below. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one.